Hello everybody and welcome to another 7-star raid build video. Fair warning, I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. I've got a little bit of a sore throat, so if I sound a little different or you hear me kind of cough a little or anything, I apologize in advance for that. I've been playing a lot of Legends ZA in my the time I've given myself off for my illness, so there's that. I've also been building these sets for who would have guessed it. 7-star Hydreigon is finally coming around. They announced this kind of like a while ago on that pseudo legendary infographic, or it wasn't really an infographic. It just said here are the next raids. So I bet you after this next probably Gudra. So I'm looking forward to that. But today we're here to talk about Hydreigon. Now they were evil when making this Pokemon set as a raid boss. Hydreigon is normally a dark and dragon type, which obviously has a very, very, very clear weakness with fairy. So they made it Terra Poison. So it doesn't, not only does it not take super effective damage from fairy, it's super effective against fairy. So no fairy types built, unfortunately. As a very annoying to deal with Pokemon, just normally, if you don't have a fairy type, it's kind of hard to handle. Giving it Levitate also means that as a pure poison type, it won't be able to take ground type damage typically. So there goes one of the weaknesses. And then obviously if you bring a psychic type, you're going to be hit by super effective damage from dark type moves like Dark Pulse. So yeah, this is a rough raid boss. I think I've got a couple sets here that'll work. I've got some that I'm very, very confident in, and some that are kind of just fun. We'll get to them in just a sec, but let's talk about Hydreigon for a second. Of course, Hydreigon is going to probably know moves like Dark Pulse and Dragon Pulse. I could see it knowing both of those. It has a notable, I think 25 or so points higher special attack than physical attack. And while its attack stat isn't super low, I definitely think it'll prioritize that. You can see up there, though, I've got Dragon Rush and like Breaking Swipe up there as well as moves it might use on the physical side. Flamethrower, Flash Cannon are great coverage for this Pokemon as well. I can definitely see it probably running one or both of those. Again, Dragon Rush is a physical dragon move it might run if they want to make it a little bit of mixed attacker. Earth Power, Focus Blast are also great coverage for this Pokemon to have. And then I also put up there Draco Meteor, Hydro Pump, Surf, and Nasty Plot. It could definitely have any of those four. I'm leaning towards it having Nasty Plot, honestly. I could definitely see it running that. As a pure poison type, it is normally weak to ground. Unfortunately, that's not true because it has a levitate ability, but technically, quote unquote, still is, and we'll get to that in a sec. And then, of course, Psychic, which we've talked about the issues with that as well. This Pokemon's going to be in Terra raids from November 7th to November 9th. And let me make sure that's actually just it. Hold on. I think it's just that. I think it's one run of it. Let me check. I don't know. It was kind of just recently announced. Oh, okay. And once more, from November 14th to November 21st. I've got to update the infographics. When you guys see it, it'll have that up there. So November 7th to November 9th, and then November 14th to November 21st. So you've got, wait, really? It's running for a week. Okay. That's interesting. Fair enough, I guess. I don't know if they've ever really done that before. Running for 2 days and then running for a week is kind of crazy. So check the description below. If there's a correction on that, I definitely will let you guys know. Because that is kind of a weird, what's it called? What am I thinking? Hold on. Okay, so I'm all over the place right now. Again, I apologize. I'm a little under the weather. That wasn't true. No, it's November 7th to November 9th is the first run. And then, unfortunately, look, I love Cerebi. Cerebi is my go-to info source. Right now, it has incorrect information. It's not for a week for the second run of it. I apologize. It's from November 14th to November 16th. So it's for 2 days, not 14th to the 21st. I apologize. Hopefully that's clear. Let's just get into our sets. It's a rough video so far already. I'm already having to hold back the cough, so let's get into it. Our first one here, of course, we've got Gallade. As a psychic and fighting type, Gallade doesn't take super effective damage from dark type moves. It takes neutral damage, so there's a little bit. You can still take quite a beating there, so just be a little careful. You're going to be the Terra type of psychic, but you're probably not going to want to Terra for the reason I just said. Otherwise, you'll take super effective damage from dark types. Give it the Shell Hull item so it can hopefully heal off a lot of damage. Psycho Cut is going to be your main damage output, obviously. That is kind of Glade's signature move. And Swords Dance is up there to make those hit really hard. You've got Taunt up there in case this thing is a Nasty Plot Hydreigon set. And then, of course, Light Screen, so you're taking less damage from those Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Flamethrowers, etc. This Pokemon's ability is going to want to be justified. That should be very clear why. If you're hit by a Dark type move, which you might, there's a decent chance you will be, you get a nice attack boost, which is very, very nice. So you'll be hitting even harder with those Psycho Cuts. When it comes to its EVs, I max out HP, max out attack, and for the last 4 points in special defense. And when it comes to its IVs, everything matters except your special attack. Its nature is going to be adamant, and that is a clear pattern you'll see here. A lot of these Pokemon are adamant. Moving on to our next one, we've got Excadrill. And now you might be asking, how is Excadrill going to work? This is a ground-type Pokemon. It's not able to hit a levitate user. We'll get to that in just a sec. As a ground and steel-type Pokemon, you're going to give it the Terra-type of ground and give it the Shovel Hold item. What's special about Excadrill is its ability Mold Breaker, which means any abilities don't work if it means you wouldn't be able to hit it. So you can hit a levitate Pokemon with a ground move as long as your Pokemon has Mold Breaker. And Excadrill does. Give it Sword Stance so that those Earthquakes will be thrown off, do a lot of damage. Maybe build up to your Terra with a Mud Slap. And if this is a physical Hydreigon or even has a physical move or two, you might as well throw up an Iron Defense. There's not really a fourth move, so I thought I'd put that on there because there's some niche use case for that. When it comes to its EVs, max out HP, max out its attack, put the last 4 points in special defense. When it comes to its IVs, everything matters except its special attack, and its nature, again, is adamant. And remember, Mold Breaker is really important. It's its hidden ability. Same with Justified for Gallade. So you're going to want to use an ability patch or get a hidden ability Pokemon from a raid or something, but definitely worth it. Moving on to our next one, we have the tried and true Annihilape. As a fighting and ghost type Pokemon, you're going to give it the Terra type of Ghost, and it's going to have the Shovel Hold item. This is just a typical Annihilape set. I'm not really going to talk about too much. You got Rage Fist as your main damage output. Bulk Up, Focus Energy are kind of your set of moves. Taunt in case this thing is running a nasty plot set. Max out HP, max out attack, the last 4 points in special defense. And then Define is a great ability for this Pokemon to have just in case, Hydreigon is using Breaking Swipe or anything that could lower your attack, or lower any of your stats, really. Getting a Defiant boost could really help out your team. Again, this Pokemon only hits neutrally, but you're also only hit neutrally. So you have a little bit of a benefit there because you're slowly going to start snowballing with those Rage Fists, while realistically Hydreigon is going to stay at one consistent high damage plateau, likely. Moving on to our next Pokemon, we've got another ground type. We've got Great Tusk, ground and fighting, and the Terra type of ground. Now, you might be once again asking, how are you going to hit a Levitate Pokemon as a ground type? Well, I don't have Mold Breaker here. As you know, it's a Paradox Pokemon. You can't have Mold Breaker on it. It can be Hellbell Shell. The Shell Bell held item. I apologize. Not the Hellbell shelled item, the Shell Bell held item. Head's feeling a little funny in case it's not clear. So you can get a little bit of passive healing. And the way you're going to be hitting this Levitate Pokemon, you've got Smackdown. Smackdown is a rock type move that makes it so any Pokemon here. Let's go take a look at it real quick. These are throws of stone or similar projectile to attack the target. If the target is in the air, it'll be knocked down in the ground. Then your Earthquakes start to deal super effective damage, as do your Mud Slaps, but really, we're here for the Earthquakes. Maybe build up to your Terra with a Mud Slap. Mud Slap or two, because you want to lead with a Smackdown first. Then maybe a couple of Mud Slaps. If you're running with a couple other Great Tusks, Sunny Day can help your team by a lot, because all of you will get the Photosynthesis boost, which I believe goes to your attack. Yes, definitely goes to your attack. You're going to max out HP, max out attack, the last 4 points in special defense. Photosynthesis is this Pokemon's only ability. When it comes to IVs, everything matters except its special attack stat. And it's also adamant. I don't think I mentioned that for Annihilape. It's the same deal there. Everything matters except your special attack, and it's adamant. Next, we've got Krookodile. Krookodile is a similar set to the Great Tusk, but you can get it in any game, as opposed to Great Tusk, which is a Scarlet exclusive. Krookodile is a ground and dark Pokemon with the Terra type of ground, and you're running it with the Shovel Hold item. When it comes to its moves, you got Smackdown on there as well. Smackdown Earthquake is your main damage output. Skitter Smack is a great way to make it so if you're taking a little too much damage from this Hydreigon, you have a way of kind of fighting back. You have a way of saying, hey, your special attack needs to be lower to state or 2, but it also does damage, so you can build your Terra off of it. Taunt, again, if this Pokemon has Nasty Plot. None of this Pokemon's abilities really apply all that much. Anger Point could be useful if you get critical hit, but obviously that's a big if. Intimidate is a really fun ability to run because if your Krookodile keeps dying and Hydreigon even has a single physical move, you're going to be intimidating it over and over again. So realistically, Anger Point probably is a little bit more helpful here, but I think that's its hidden ability, so I'm just going to run Intimidate. It should be fine. Max out its HP, max out attack, and put the last 4 points in special defense. When it comes to its IVs, everything matters except its special attack, and once again, adamant. Now moving on to our only non-adamant build. This is a bit of a fun one. We've got a Alolan Muk here. You can catch a Alolan Muk natively in this game by going to the Blueberry Academy. I think it's in the coastal biome. Muk, of course, Alolan Muk specifically, is a poison and dark type Pokemon. You can give it the Terra type of poison, give it the Black Sludge Held item, which is kind of just like super leftover specifically for poison types. When it comes to its moves, you want to give it... I've decided to call this Muk the I Hate You Hydreigon Muk, because it's solely focused on debuffing the Hydreigon. You've got Mud Slap, which, now that I think about it, won't hit until you use Smackdown or Mold Break, or I guess you have to use Smackdown. So hopefully someone on your team will run that. If they do, you can start throwing out Mud Slaps, otherwise be a little careful. You've got Taunt, Screech, and Clear Smog for obvious reasons. Taunt to make it so it can't set up any nasty plots. Clear Smog to stop it if it already has. And then Screech to just lower its physical attack over and over again. It's a bit of an interesting set. None of Muk's abilities really apply here, so I threw Power Valkyrie on it, because maybe we can snag Justified, right? That'd be kind of cool. If a Gallade bias goes down, it'd be kind of neat. When it comes to its EVs, you want to put max points in its HP, which is 252. I put 16 in defense and 196 in its special defense. Just kind of give it a little bit of extra defense, because the special defense is already so high, you don't need it ridiculously high, so may as well put a little in defense just in case this thing's running Dragon Rush. When it comes to its IVs, everything matters except its attack stat, technically. And it's going to be Calm, which is minus attack of special defense. And with that being said, that is all our builds here today. I apologize if this video seemed a little bit more disorganized. It was. Hopefully I'll be feeling better. Again, November 7th to November 9th. And then I believe I said the 14th through the 16th. Yeah, November 14th through 16th. So I got to update the infographic before this video goes up. Hopefully you guys won't see a wrong one. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys out there in the raid dens. Good luck out there. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.